we said. Thank you. Thanks for having that. All right. Then with the call to order, let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everyone. I'm here along with Commissioner Gahn and Commissioner Shermack, having been appointed by the President Judge to the vacancy on the election board, which was created by virtue of former Commissioner McGloin's resignation. And we have the agenda for today that has been distributed. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the meeting on November 26, 2024, and I think since I wasn't here then, you two were the only ones who can verify the accuracy and authenticity of the minutes. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
So moved. Second.
By Commissioner Gahn, second by Commissioner Shermack. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, then they'll pass. Next, we do have 5 items on the agenda for today, and next on the agenda is the opportunity for the public to address any of those agenda items. So is there anyone present who wishes to address any of those agenda items? And the record will reflect that no one has indicated a desire to do so. The first matter on the agenda is motion 25-2006, which is a motion to appoint a chair of the Board of Elections.
I'll make a motion to appoint Judge Nealon as the chairman of the Board of Elections.
Second.
Can I dissent?
You can't, no.
Okay.
You don't have a choice.
Then I will obviously abstain, but all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, then that motion passed. Then the second motion is motion 25-2001, which is the motion to assign poll workers to work the May 20th, 2025 primary election outside of their voting district. And I know the Director of Elections, Elizabeth Hopkins, is here, and if you could address that motion for us, please.
Certainly. Thank you, Judge. So ideally, each precinct in the county has an elected judge of election, inspector of elections, and clerks. Sometimes we have a vacancy in one of those areas, and we cannot find someone who is registered in that specific election district to work. So we like to say we kind of go to the bench, and we have a number of registered voters in the county that are willing to work the polls and are willing to travel outside of their voting district. So it's required that the board approves those people to work outside of their district.
Some of us here are old enough to remember when people would show up at about 6:45 and hold the curbside election because they were the only two, and they would be elected as the judge of elections and the majority and minority inspectors and the like. But it's better to have this naturally taken care of. Any questions then on the motion at all? Nope. Okay. Then we'll entertain a motion to adopt motion 25-2001, which is to assign the poll workers to work the primary election outside of their voting district.
So moved.
By Commissioner Gahn, second by Commissioner Shermack. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, then that passes. Next is motion 25-2002, which is a motion to permanently relocate the polling location of Scranton 6-1. And again, if Director Hopkins would address that.
Certainly. In 2020, there was a fire at the Riverside Housing project, and we temporarily relocated that polling place to Jackson Heights. They still have not rebuilt that community room, so instead of each election cycle temporarily moving it, we decided to permanently move it. And in the future, if something should change, we can always move it back, but it's working at Jackson Heights and the voters are accustomed to going there. So we have decided to make it a permanent move, and all of those voters will be notified with a letter from our department stating that it's a permanent move.
What would be, more out of curiosity, the distance from 200 Emmett Street to 1001 Jackson
Well,
Street?
I would say that we exhausted all of our options to get something as close as possible to that location, but with the strict ADA guidelines, this was the best option for those voters. And now that they have the opportunity to vote by mail and no excuse voting, we put it there. And that polling location passed all of the requirements from the Department of Justice, so it was the best location for us.
It's probably not a fair question, but I'll ask it anyway. Once it was temporarily relocated to Jackson Heights, they didn't notice a precipitous drop in the voter turnout
We
for
did
6-1.
not, and especially, I think a lot of that you could credit to the mail-in voting, that voters had the opportunity to vote by mail if they couldn't get to their precinct.
Okay, all right. Any other questions? Okay. Then we'll entertain a motion to permanently relocate the polling location of Scranton 6-1 from Riverside Housing at 200 Emmett Street, Scranton, to Jackson Heights 1001 Jackson Street in Scranton.
So moved.
By Commissioner Gahn.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Shermack. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, then that motion passed. The next motion is 25-2003, which is the motion to permanently relocate the polling location of South Abington 3-2. And again, Director Hopkins is here to discuss that relocation for us.
Well, we were notified after the general election in November of 2024 that the church had closed and the building is up for sale. So we were no longer able to use the facility. So we did a study of the area. We did an assessment at the firehouse. It was, when they did the assessment of it, the room has ample space to hold both polling places. It was the closest location. It met all the guidelines. So we had decided to move the polling place there. And those voters also will be notified in writing from our office of the permanent relocation.
Okay. I do recall seeing something in the paper, the news, about the closing of Chinchilla United Methodist Church. I think Scott Thorpe was featured somewhat prominently in.
He's the one who actually contacted our department to let us know.
Yeah, and so, any other questions? Okay, then we'll entertain a motion to permanently relocate the polling location of Abington, or South Abington 3-2 from the Chinchilla United Methodist Church on 411 Layton Road to the firehouse on 104 Shady Lane in South Abington.
So moved.
So moved by Commissioner Gahn.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Shermack. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, then that motion passes well. Then the last motion we have on the agenda for today is motion 25-2004, which is the motion to temporarily relocate the polling place of Music 2 and Music 4. And again, Director Hopkins, if you could address that.
So this is the second time that we're temporarily relocating both of those precincts. The Greenwood Hose Company is currently under a large renovation project, and it's nowhere near completion. So in the general election in '24, we temporarily relocated it to the youth center. It worked out, and we're going to keep that. That is the temporary location for this election too.
Okay. All right. Any questions, Director? All right. Then we'll entertain a motion to approve the temporary relocation of the polling place of Music 2 and Music 4 from the Greenwood Hose Company, number 1 on 3729 Bernie Avenue, to the Music Youth Center at 606 Main Street.
So moved.
So moved by Commissioner Gahn.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Shermack. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, then that motion passes as well. Then next on the agenda, we have the opportunity for any members of the public who wish to address the board, not limited to agenda items. Does anyone wish to address the board? Oh, no, that's my security staff.
I wish we were so fortunate
Yeah, I was
out
gonna
here
say.
to have one. So, good morning. My name is Kara Francis, Roaringbrook Township. So I have 3 specific questions today. My first question is to the board, after I provide some background here, especially for you, Judge. I believe we're on year 5 now. Not sure how many times I actually came up here discussing the no excuse mail-in ballots and the drop boxes, but nonetheless, I'm here again today to address them and address the drop boxes. The county's furious with the 33% tax increase. They're furious with the non-transparency in the reassessment, and I'm asking that we do not waste any money on drop boxes again. The cost associated with them cannot possibly justify them. So today, I'm asking you, as the board, to actually put on the next agenda a motion to permanently remove the drop boxes. At a minimum, if you're going to actually use the drop boxes again, put them in the one location, that is downstairs. The no excuse mail-in drop boxes or no excuse mail-in ballots can be mailed, as Elizabeth said. they can be mailed. I think I asked back in the fall how much money it was that was spent on the surveillance of these drop boxes. I was concerned about the sheriffs having them take them out, the cost associated with them. So are you able to put a motion on the agenda for us?
May I respond?
Yes.
I respect your position on the issue. I've been on the record. I think that drop boxes are a good thing. I think it promotes people getting out and voting in a different way, and I think we should do everything in our power to expand access to voting. So I would not be, with all due respect to you and your position, which I completely understand, I would not be in favor of putting that motion.
Can we stop this time while we're discussing this? I'm losing time here.
But just wanted to be clear, I would not be in favor of the motion if it was placed.
That's okay.
Thank you.
I'd still like the motion placed on the agenda.
I've had the opportunity to do that before in the past. I'm one person. I would make a motion to eliminate drop boxes. I've done it in the past. I will put it out as a motion today to remove drop boxes. We'll see if I get a response, but
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else then on the issue?
Okay,
Oh, I'm sorry, you did say you had two matters.
excuse me?
I thought you originally, when you stood up, I thought you said you had two matters you wished to
I
address.
actually do have another.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you very much.
It's my courtroom for today.
Okay, thank you. This question is for Elizabeth. Thank you so much for everything you've done, all the answers to all the questions I posed to you in the past. So again, this goes back to these no excuse mail-in ballots. So it's my understanding that the judges are signing off, the judge of elections in each precinct are signing off as to the vote. Could you please maybe take us back to the discussions that were had when the drop boxes and the no excuse mail-in ballots? Could you explain maybe who actually initiated this? The judges are signing off on the fact that the votes were counted and counted correctly. If the mail-in ballots are being sent to a tabulation center, is there a judge signing off on the tabulation center? It's just, there's just still this confusion here. Maybe could you?
Are you talking about we do the canvas on election day here?
Yeah, absolutely. Like maybe was this,
I mean, everyone that's involved in the canvas is sworn in,
okay,
okay? And they sign their names that they're attesting to all that. There are watchers there from all the political parties, all the campaigns overseeing it. There's a judge from the county bench that's there during the process. So, I mean, it's open and transparent. People can come in. There's watchers there. There's party members there watching it happen.
okay. So and this again, this is just a discussion so that the public understands it. So in the precinct judges and the inspectors are signing off.
They're signing off on the election tape when the results are printed out.
Okay. So they're only signing off on what occurs in their location at that time?
That's correct.
Okay. So let me ask you another question then. So with the write-in candidates, can you explain the write-in candidates, actually how those are counted and where they're counted?
Certainly. So when the official canvass begins the Friday after the election, we have 3 teams that work in our office on the election software. So all those ballot images are able to be viewed. And again, watchers come and watch the process for that too. And we'll do a tabulation of all the write-ins. So we'll do a printout of the election results. I'll use Waverly as an example. It's the first precinct. So in a specific race, maybe it's supervisor on one side or the other, there may or may not be a candidate. I don't know, I'm just using this as an example. So if they say there's 65 write-ins on the Democratic ballot, say for supervisor, we're gonna go through every single ballot in that precinct, the images that come up on the computer screen, and find the 65 write-ins. Sometimes they might just be the write-in circle is filled in, but there's no name, sometimes vice versa. So we will go through all that, and there's teams of 2 for a reason. So you have 2 sets of eyes looking at it and verifying the number. If for any reason someone wants to view all of those, they can view the ballot itself. This is just the image of each ballot, but if they want to review the paper ballot, they can.
Excellent. Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
clarifying that.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it so very much. I understand there'll be some write-ins.
Definitely write-ins in a municipal cycle.
Yes, yeah.
A lot.
A lot.
I think the last municipal cycle, we had 36,000 write-ins that have to be tabulated.
Really?
It takes
Wow.
some time.
Wow.
Yes. Well, you figure this election cycle, judge of election run, inspectors run, and not a lot of people take out petitions in the smaller communities too, like the auditors and supervisors. So there will be a lot of write-ins.
Okay. I was going to ask Tracy a question, but she's not here today. I had some right-to-knows back in November. I had one regarding the cost associated with the drop boxes, how much, we were spending on drop boxes. I didn't get the answer to that. It's now 5 months. So if maybe we can go back and get that, that addressed. Those right-to-knows, actually, they were very substantial. They had a lot of questions in them. In fact, Lorraine Cummings would be happy because I actually threw in the question regarding the building that she was asking about the cost associated with the building. Not that it's relevant here, but she'd be happy about that. Yeah, I was asking about the money that was spent on the surveillance on all the drop boxes. I was asking about the costs for the actual drop boxes to be put out, if we had figures on them. So I know they were kind of complex. So anyway, if we
Okay.
can get to that, that's great. Thank you very much. If we could just reconsider the motion and what we're doing with the drop boxes to try to save the county some money. I think the community would be very, very happy considering these drop boxes, these mail-in ballots can actually be placed in the mail or brought in, thanks to Elizabeth and her team. They can actually be brought right in, and a person can hand them in right at the Board of Elections.
Okay.
So thank you.
Thank you. How many drop boxes are we talking about in the county?
So currently, we have a drop box located here in the Government Center, in the Music Municipal Building, the Dixon City Municipal Building, the Clark Summit Municipal Building, Roaring Brook, and Carbondale. It's in the Senior Center.
Okay. 6 total. This is the lawyer still inside me. One thing that I always found curious about, you mentioned the mailing of the ballots, the contrast between the mailing of the ballots and the drop box. It's my understanding, and I haven't researched it thoroughly, but that I could, well, not if I was, assume I wasn't a judge, because I shouldn't be doing any politicking if I'm a judge, but I could walk through this building and collect the mail-in ballot of every single person in this building who had done one, and arguably get 100 of them, and put a stamp on all of them, and take them outside in front of your building here and put them in the United States mailbox and not violate any law. But if I was leaving here and Chris said to me, will you drop my mail-in ballot in the box downstairs for me, I have to run somewhere, and I did that, I'd be in violation of the law.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, it's intriguing to me as to how the use of a stamp seems to change the whole dynamic of that issue. But in any event, and again, I can't speak to any of the right-to-know law requests. I have no familiarity with any of that. What's that?
We'll discuss it with Tracy.
Okay, all right. Okay. Anything else then? Are you a member who wishes to address? Oh, okay, okay, all right. Any other business then? Members' other business? Okay, if not, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second?
Second, all in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Okay, then we're adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.